Hey, welcome back to What Elon Said. Today is May 12th, 2012. Time's flying by. Today we have a couple of good things from Elon commented on. One is about sustainability on Earth could ramp up much higher than we think. We're also talking about how FSD, what it takes to get it to true FSD on the road, full self-driving, and apparently Atari 2600 is loved by AI much more than humans. It's all coming up. So, Kevin, what do we have for us here?
Yeah. So first up, we have Stephen Mark Ryan commenting with a quote or basically a summary of a statement from Elon with his Financial Times interview from a couple days ago, saying interesting comments from Elon in the interview. Casually mentions if Earth's economy was 10 times larger, hello Tesla bot, you could still power the entire thing on solar, wind, batteries, and electric transport. This is not news to anyone who's done the math. And Elon jumped in here and said, this is literally true. Even 100 times is possible. So,
Yeah.
a point he's reiterated many times in the past that there's so much energy that could be captured sustainably. As you and I have talked about, I think it's a matter of distributing that energy, which is going to take some time to build out that infrastructure. But he just has been banging the drum about how we just need to capture it, and it would be so powerful for even 100 times our current economy.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I've been hearing more and more the drumbeat on both sides. There's an organization I follow, forgetting their name, that they've shown this, that exponentially growing, the rate that it's growing will just blow people away within the next 10 years of how much can be generated just from solar. Batteries need to catch up a bit. But
Yeah.
the other side I've been hearing from the likes of Peter Zeihan and some other energy experts is, one, the energy sources are too distributed. They're basically not like oil or gas from just a few partners around the world.
Mhm.
Everything that goes into the batteries from all over. I think Elon's shown that's not totally the case. It is the short term, but not in the long term. It can be locally sourced for the most part. And also that it's just not feasible. It's, as you said, from a distribution standpoint. So we'll see. I am more on the part of Elon's side, surprisingly, that's going to happen sooner rather than later. But it's a gamble, I got to say. The world's betting on it. Hopefully, it works. Billions
Yeah.
being poured into it, and I think it's going to happen. I agree with Elon.
Yeah. Yep. I'm optimistic as well. It's a matter of building the batteries and e- enabling them to hold the charge for long periods of time, and yeah, just distributing the energy to them,
That's right.
and then just installing them on every structure that we have, basically.
Yes.
So, yeah. Next up, FSD. Let you take this one.
Yeah, we got, so right now we have Whole Mars Catalog, our favorite poster, has said that Tesla's running FSD beta are driving 1.5 billion miles a year. The broader fleet of FSD compatible Teslas is driving around at a rate of 32 billion miles a year. That is an enormous number of miles
Hmm.
compared to any of the competition. Then Elon
Yeah.
responded that without billions of miles of training data, solving self-driving is impossible. That it doesn't matter how sophisticated your radar, lidar, any technology you have is, unless you have the actual time of the road, the data coming in, it doesn't matter. And of course, Tesla has that data, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Hopefully, they're near it.
it's been interesting to watch the evolution of his thought process regarding FSD. It
Oh yeah,
seems he seems far clearer on the overall problem now and what it takes to solve it. Probably a little bit more accurate with timelines too, although I think he's still pretty aggressive and optimistic. Um,
yes,
and he always has been. But yeah, it's the actual driving data is going to drive the effectiveness of the FSD of the software. You have to have that in order to make the software better, and other companies just don't have that and don't seem to be working towards getting it in many ways. So,
Yes, I mean there's a lot out there. Like the only ones we know that are kind of close are Cruise is very close. Zoox has some good capabilities from the Amazon side,
mhm.
but they, as far as we know, they're a long way away, and no one knows what Apple's doing.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, what kind of driving data? I mean, maybe Apple could source it from somebody, but I still don't see other cars with cameras on them that are just continuously collecting data from
No,
all
that's
sides of the
true.
car.
Absolutely true.
You know,
Absolutely true.
so it's
Yeah.
it's this telematics data points that really drive the improvement of this software, and not to mention when their approach now is to build out uh, uh, the vortex. Dude, I'm forgetting the word.
The flux capacitor.
No, the vector space. Sorry,
Oh yes, yes, yes. That's right.
which is basically a digital recreation of the world that the car is driving in, and
Yes,
that's just being built out, and labeling is happening within that, and it's getting quite robust to a point where um, I don't think it's going to be very hard for competitors to catch up to where they are now. Or
I would
Tesla.
think so. I would think so. Should be an interesting couple of years.
Hmm.
And then, speaking of Andrej Karpathy, who is the mastermind of this, he has noted that, referencing a post he had from a couple of years, someone else referenced a post from a couple of years ago, but he said right now that the Atari 2600 games, the classic games from 40 years ago, may have played more by games may have been played more by reinforcing learning agents now than they were ever played by humans. Some papers report billions. That is incredible. Like, can you imagine the amount of people who played for the last 40 years on the Atari 2600 around the world? AI is just way surpassed it now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I like the quote here. We were supposed to make AI do all the work, and we play games, but we do all the work, and the AI is playing games.
Yes, that's a great quote.
Yeah, I'm not quite understanding the like context of this. I This is something that Elon liked, right? The smiley happy face.
Yeah, with
Um,
a sweat. Yeah,
but
with
just
a
I
with a
think it's a
tear.
tear, smiling
Yeah,
tear.
tear. Yes.
But I think it's correlated to neural net machine learning systems, right?
Yes.
Of
I think it's the games teach them how to make choices and decision making.
mhm. So that's an Elon like there. Here we have a funny meme from Elon that he posted. The brain small when publishing factual, accurate news, and then becomes stimulated when publishing articles that use clickbait and out of context quotes, and then goes into overload when publishing articles that are inaccurate, slanderous, and include at least one accusation of being a Nazi. Oh my goodness. Uh,
Explode people, set
yeah.
them over the edge. Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. Doesn't
Elon's
take
meme of the
much
day.
to just look around and see that that's the way humans act.
It is dopamine in a crazy way. That's why people are really addicted to TikTok, constant dopamine. Um, I think Elon's up to one good meme a day. That's his goal.
Mm.
Got to get that meme out.
Well, it's like Shibatoshi said yesterday that with every political post, the IQ goes down one, but then
That's
memes
right.
save it.
That's right. He's
Um,
increasing the
no, I think he's just again highlighting the ridiculousness of mainstream media and uh, their inability to run articles or posts that don't have dramatic headlines or are not filled with all this type of stuff in it, accusations, slanders, all that. Because again, they're just businesses, and that's what sells. So you want to stop that, then stop paying attention to those types of things
That's it.
as the
That's it.
consumer.
And we don't know what he has in mind there. Every time we post something, I'm like, he has something in mind.
Yeah.
So we've crossed over the chasm, Kevin. We're in Twitter land now.
Back into the Twitter valley.
That was the transition slide before. So now Elon said that chronological tweets seem much better than what the algorithm suggests. And Jack says this is the way. But he was basically saying, Jack is saying that algorithms definitely that it's the right thing to do, but it is important for people to have a choice because sometimes the algorithm does suggest good things for them. Yeah. So Jack's saying that it is better to be chronological, but there should be the option for other, letting the algorithm do its thing. Yeah. And Elon agreed that it shouldn't be one or the other. It should be a choice.
I think, Elon talks a lot about unleashing the power of Twitter and how he can make it better. I think there is actually quite an argument for that there's a lot of ways that the interface could be improved. I don't find it all that easy to control how you see what you see, how at what interval you see it or whatever. I mean, even the chronological versus whatever the opposite or the other option is.
The algorithm?
Yeah. That's not like very easily shown within the app itself of how you change that. I mean, I see it in chronological. I've become aware of it over in the past when it switches, and it's like this is not what's happening here. I'm just used to looking at it chronologically, but I don't find it very easy or like clear as to how you change it back and forth.
It's not. It's definitely not. I didn't realize there was a way to change it. I'm that naive, but it should be more another thing that could be clear. So another tactic that Elon's throwing up there. I don't know if he was just suggesting what he likes better, or but he likes the feedback, especially for people he knows that used to run Twitter.
Yeah,
but that's that's how it works. All right.
On the logistics note of it, he did note here that you click on the 3 buttons up at the top right of the screen, and that'll allow you to change it chronologically.
Yes. Okay, there you go. It's good to know.
But yeah, I thought this one was cool too. Bill Lee liking this. That Chen Fang said there should be some paid algos for purchase to surface fun and engaging tweets. So free could be home, the default algo, chronological, echo chamber with similar views, and contrarian with opposite views. And then paid could be make me laugh, make me think, make me reply. I think that's some interesting ideas as to how the layout could change and what some of the options for how you view tweets could look like. I'd be interested to know how, like, for those last 3, or even for the ones in 3 and 4, how exactly would you categorize tweets as they came out? How do you know? I mean, I guess AI.
How do you or the algorithm?
Something's funny.
Yeah, I guess it's a version of the lists, but making the lists more obvious how to put something in it so that it learns what you like.
Yeah,
because lists are fantastic, but people have to know where to find it and how to create them. I think it seems like it's more of an expansion of that, making it better.
Yeah. I've always thought that it would be nice if there were lists that I would, or that the algorithm thought that I would like, that it allowed me to add them. And maybe that's out there, but
it is there. It should be suggested. Sometimes it says in this category. Does it do that for you at all? Or
yeah, I mean, there's categories, but some of them. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't like the curation of them, and I just don't want too many lists. But I guess the approach I need to take is to just go into trusted accounts that I follow, and then check out their lists and maybe jump on.
Yeah, that's an excellent way. Yeah, you can just save it or copy it. That's right. Good stuff. Lists are the way to go. That makes night
Well,
and day
hey,
in how
on
you
that
experience
thought,
Twitter.
we've talked
Yes.
about how we're speculated about how Elon must go through his Twitter. And we've talked
Yes.
about lists before, but you know how sometimes he'll just find stuff like this. This is a perfect example. Henry L. McNamara. Okay. And
Yes.
he responded here and read it and laughed.
Yeah.
Um, I wonder if Elon has anonymous accounts, or at least one, that he has close acquaintances and friends send him stuff like, that are in their feed. I mean,
That could be good.
you
Yes.
know,
He's always getting DMs and he just goes through them and he sees that in there.
yeah, yeah,
That's
exactly.
interesting. That's a good thought. Good thought there. I like it.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but this was Henry McNamara saying the number of times VC startup people have used the word humbled on Twitter when bragging in the past 5 years is about 19 billion. The number of times VC startups have used the word humbled on Twitter since they've actually been humbled, a zero.
It's funny.
Good stuff.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
that word's thrown around a lot. And this is it for the day.
So
You want to take this one?
it's a quick one. I have to take the Shibatoshi Nakamoto.
Always.
Uh, always
You're getting better at
20.
pronouncing his name, though.
I am. I've gotten better. One day I'll get it right. 2020 government says, oh, now I gotta take this one. Oh
Yeah,
shit, it's
you're gonna
fucked.
be bleeped out.
Let's print trillions of dollars. 2022 government. We fucked up. Let's make everyone poor again. The media. I'll blame the billionaires to get the heat off you. They will eat it up. And the government. Thanks, fam.
Right.
Man, accusational here, but Elon liked it. So he is anti-government, anti-media here. And
Yeah.
this like
They do seem to partner up. Although, I don't know, sometimes the media is not too fond of the government, and I'm not even sure that they have good basis for that. Yeah,
yes.
I don't know. I guess I'm of the opinion that the government's trying to do the best they could. They probably could do better. In retrospect, they probably just fired money out everywhere when they could have been a little bit more strategic about it. 2020, but
It's a little of a crisis.
mm,
So no one knew how bad it would get, or the world was literally in crisis mode. So
yeah.
it was a lot, but I don't know.
And now we're here again, and we're just going the opposite direction.
And now I just look at the red every morning.
Oh boy, the wild world we live in.
Yeah. And on that note, good episode. We will see everyone tomorrow. We'll see. This is probably the lightest of Elon tweeting in a while, so we'll see what he says
Day,
tomorrow.
But some good nuggets in there.
Yes, very good.
Well, hopefully you liked the
soon.
episode. Give us a like, consider subscribing, and we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah.
Before we go, in case anyone was interested, I did figure out what the I button was.
Yes. What is it?
I think because I have Instapaper as an app on a Chrome. I don't know if it's Twitter pushing it or it's just it's integrated. But if you click it when an article appears, it'll send it to Instapaper.
Instapaper? Instagram?
Which is Instapaper, which is an app that allows you to save articles.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
So that's what it is.
Yeah. I figured it was article related because it kept popping up under the articles. But.
Yeah. So you just basically push it, you'll say, I'll read it later, and then you never read it. That's how it works.
Yep, exactly.
Yes.
And then your Instapaper is just like a stack of old newspapers.
It's like a hoarder.
All right. Well, thanks for enlightening us on that front, and we'll catch everyone tomorrow.
Yes.
Talk to you then.